guys, what's up? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll kick this off. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? Five for 5, baby, 5 for 5. Hope y'all like that intro music. I'm just trying to change it up a little bit, guys. Just a little bit of positivity, you know. I don't think that hurts anything. Hopefully you guys don't mind it. But you know, I'll be switching the song probably every day, every other day, something like that. So yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I will go over to Schumann here real quick. And again, this is a live stream. So anybody that's just now tuning in or new to the channel, I would say that my morning updates are more data driven and just showing you simple data and what space weather is actually going on condition wise at that time. And I'll also touch on big subjects if I need to, if something big is going on. But this kind of a live stream is kind of laid back. It's not, I don't try to hold strict to any kind of a script. I don't script anything anyway. I'm shooting from the hip every time I'm here. But yeah, and I think it's better to do it that way because, you know, you got to be honest when you're talking from the hip like this. You can't just, you know, have something stupid written down and just follow it by whatever. Now, I don't down people that do that because some people need that kind of a focus. I do sometimes, but I find it more genuine if I don't do stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. Again, the Schumann, whatever we're looking at here, guys, it just is what it is from now on. I don't think this is going to go back to any sort of what we used to see. I just don't. It used to just be like the 783 Hz line right here was there, and sometimes you would see frequencies up, you know, Hz levels up here, and we would see the spiking from time to time, but nothing like what we're seeing now. It seems to be 3-4 days a week now, at least, if not every day. So yeah, just wanted to say that. But again, what can this stuff do to you, especially long term? Without Schumann, will make you go crazy. It's well documented. You guys can look it up yourself. ISS, they pump it in there. Anything in space, because the Schumann isn't there, it isn't the same. You've got people that work underground. Now, the Schumann resides from the surface of the Earth to our ionosphere. It's the frequency that's bouncing around there, okay? That's what we're talking about here. And our bodies and brains, biologically, 7.83 is what they tell us is what we would consider quote-unquote normal. Anything outside of that can cause issues. And again, this is a local tool. This is in Russia. There's other tools. You can actually get your own. You know, for your local area, for where you're at. You can change the resonance just right around you if you want to. There's lots of YouTube videos just pumping out like frequencies. You can turn it on, let it run for hours if you want to. You know, I haven't had much luck with those. I've had some luck. Sometimes it'll, you know, help me sleep or whatever. But a lot of people get a lot of benefit from that. So, you know, who am I to question any of that? Also, guys, if you guys have any questions at any time during any of this, please let me know. I just want to, you know, answer the questions for you as we get there. So we're to start here, guys. You can see how we're having an X-ray uptick. And that was in my thumbnail. Let me get to the stuff that's in the thumbnail first for people that are here for that. You know, obviously, we're having some small flaring here. These are not big ones, but the sun's actually doing a lot on the backside. Now, whatever's happening on the backside will eventually turn towards Earth. Okay, within a week or so. Now, we have some other active areas turning in here shortly, probably within the next day or two. They're going to crest over the limb. It's in the southern part of the sun. Now, just a few hours ago, I noticed on SDO, there was a eruption off I couldn't tell because it's actually on the backside, it looked to be, but it fired to the south. I haven't seen the sun fire to the south in a while. Like down. And I'll show it to you when we get there. But, so we'll go over that here in just a second. Now, it's nothing to be like all crazy about or anything, but it is something that we haven't seen for a while, especially one that I am seeing here. But geomagnetic activity, as far as how we're fending it off, right now we're fending it off just fine. We got to a 4. I talked about this morning. We did have a little uptick here. Now, if we go to Discover data, what you're going to notice is the fact that you have the temperature here, the solar wind speed, and the density kind of jumping up and down. You go from high down to back here pretty quickly. So something, we were taking a hit from something there that's going on. I'm not quite sure what this is. We kind of were expecting like maybe a possible sideways glancing blow from a really, really weak CME that blew off the sun a few days ago. And this may be what this is, or it could be, whatever else that we talk about. The fine angle did flip, but it didn't do a whole lot of flipping. It kind of, back, forth. But the density was elevated, and the solar wind speed did come up. You can see a steady uptick. See it? Now, we look for 500 and above to really look for events, but what I've noticed, especially this sun cycle, is that solar wind speed hasn't had to be that high for us to take a hit. So, yeah. Is the buffering going, guys? You guys, am I buffering? Somebody let me know. If that's happening, let me know. I can shut some stuff off to try to help with that. I'll do that here in just a sec. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and kill the Schumann link here. That will help. All this will help as I go through this. Not anymore? Okay. Well, I'm sorry that was happening, guys. I didn't really see it. I'm doing a little bit of a different setup here, guys. I can see the chat, and I know you guys can't see it on your screen, correct? I'm pretty sure. So I know that was bugging some people, and it would bug me too. Me dragging the chat back, back and forth. Might have just been on your end tab. Okay. Just making sure, because I haven't seen like any unhealthy stream parameters here. Okay, cool. Because I set my OBS up. If you guys don't know what OBS is, it's the software that a lot of streamers use. You use this secondary software and it puts things in order for you. But it is, in some levels, it does get a little bit hard to produce things how you want. But OBS, in my opinion, is probably the best one out there. StreamYards, you can go into a bunch of different other ones. Zoom, all those things. But even when I use Zoom and stuff, I still run it through OBS. I don't just live stream straight from Zoom. But, yeah. Yeah, Carolyn, I know a lot of people don't mind that chat box up there. But, a lot of people do, and it does actually get in my way sometimes. So, I may, because I can set up a filter too in the OBS where the chat's there, but the box is gone. It's basically just your text. And I'm sure you guys have seen YouTubers, especially people that all they do is live stream. They'll put their chat, especially commentary channels, over on the side. But for me, what I'm doing, I'm jumping back and forth, between data screens and things like that. And it gets kind of in the way sometimes. But yeah. But anyway, the BZ here, guys, it's not, really doing a whole lot. Staying pretty, the angle staying where we can really deflect a lot of what's going on here. And again, I really can't point to one certain thing of what's causing this right now. But it did. You can see the steady uptick, especially with the wind speed. That's the purple. Okay, 330 to, close to 500, and then down real fast. It went down to 425, and then, went back up fairly quickly. Within, 12 hours. Now, we've seen it jump, like, from way down here to way up here, past 500, almost instantaneously. Those are usually from like CMEs and things like that. So that's typically what we would see with that. But, you know, the speed's going up. The density does seem to drop down a little bit when we do get the uptick in solar wind speed. And that's what we would expect for the most part. When they do react at the same time, like going up or going down, typically that's when we take a bigger hit. Not necessarily going down, but if they're both elevated and the BZ's at -6 or more, that's usually when we take some pretty good hits. Our magnetic field, Earth's magnetic field, has a hard time deflecting that stuff sometimes. But I got to tell you, you know, all the stuff that we've seen so far, you know, we had that big X flare, and it really, you know, I know that's not a CME, but we really didn't see a whole lot from it. You know, we had some radio blackouts and things like that, but nothing else. Now, again, like I said, that's not the CME. It's just the flare part of it. So we really haven't taken a really hard hit from a CME since the new sun cycle started. So I appreciate that, Trish. It's good to see you. Daniel, what's up? Kathleen? Hey, Wayne, what's up, man? Hey, I was checking you out today, man. I don't usually chat a whole lot, Wayne, just to explain, because sometimes when I go into somebody's chat, especially if I stay within our community, like what we do, they start talking to me a lot, and I think it distracts from what's actually going on. So sometimes I don't chat because of that. I'm just trying to respect, you know, the other channel. So I hope you understand that. I'm there a lot, just so you know. Always leave a like. Always go over. I'm watching you a lot. I think you're on point with a lot of stuff that you're saying, and I want to get you and Axe on my, you know, on a show with me, because you guys are up there in Canada, and you guys are reporting on some really crazy stuff going on. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll remember that, man. I just don't want to, you know, disrespect somebody's time. That's the only reason why I don't do it. I've had bigger channels come in, and I you know, it doesn't bother me either. But some people have gotten upset over stuff like that. I get it. Like if you're trying to hammer home a point, and a bigger creator, I'm not a big creator at all, okay? But I'm talking like I've seen like a PewDiePie level type of sneak into a chat room, and it destroys the rest of the live stream because everybody's focused on him at that point. So that's kind of why I do that. But anyway, and again, I'm not putting myself up to that level at all. I'm not even close to that. I'm just saying, in our little community that kind of runs around here, you know, we know each other. And that's, people start talking, I just don't want to distract. So anyway, we'll move on. Cool, man, cool. But yeah, I do want to get you and Axe both so on here, and again, it's been difficult the past few months for me to try to get any kind of time to do any of this. That's why it's been put off. I got to get Ron on. Verte's wants to come on. I'm gonna get you all on here. It's just taking me more time than I thought it was going to. So, but anyway, all right. This is the geoelectric field model, guys. This is the newer model that, you know, just came out a year or so ago. Especially the 3-dimensional one. This is 2-dimensional, but it works just fine for what we do here. This is better because it gets really specific. You can see where the bigger cities are. Now, this is trying to show you space weather's effect on our electrical grid, or artificial electrical components is what this says it does. So this is what this is for. Now, you can see where the model is not complete yet. They're still working on it. That's why this isn't there. So yeah. But yeah, so if you go over here, and I'll just run it, and, well, actually I'll slow it down, I'll drag the bar here. And as I go through there, you can see little bursts, right? And what that is space weather getting through. Okay? And that's why that's happening like that. So, you know, we got to think of our magnetic field not so much as a complete, consistent thing over top of us. It has holes, it has cracks, it has thinner or weaker spots all over the planet. Oh, not the planet, I should say. Just the magnetic field in general. So we can have cracks anywhere. Sometimes we'll get these crazy auroras we didn't expect because a crack will open up. And a lot of that has to do with that BZ I was just talking about. Sometimes when that angle is moved at a certain angle and we get solar wind or what have you, it'll cause auroras because it goes into that crack. Okay, that's exactly what we're seeing sometimes. But you can see how we had a little bit of a uptick in energy here. This is not nothing big, but you can see around here, especially this one, these are around the bigger cities. Okay, and the reason why, there's more electrical components there. Obviously, higher populated. So, yeah. I just wanted to show you this one. I haven't shown it to you guys in a while, so hopefully that'll. But this is spaceweather.com, guys. I take you guys here all the time. I'm a little concerned about whoever's running this webpage right now. I don't know, because this same article, it's exactly the same as what it was yesterday, and they don't typically do that. Matter of fact, I've never seen them do that. So I don't know if they're having issues technically or whatever. Hey, Rip, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. I have a crack, and if mine opens up, watch out. Well, okay. I will. I'll watch out for sure. But I didn't really spend a whole lot of time on this yesterday, but this still applies, guys. You see this halo CME. Everybody thought right at first it was coming at us because Soho picked up some radiation as this happened. But this actually blew off the back side of the sun. I'm like directly off the back, not facing us whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Now, we've seen that's happened before, okay? I don't want to act like it hasn't never happened before, because it does happen. But that just shows you it doesn't really, it doesn't, just because it blows off the backside doesn't mean that we can't have effects from it. We don't have to take a direct blow to get effects. Now, did it affect us much? Absolutely not. That's why most people won't even cover it, because this is just a halo. Now, I know a lot of people are covering this now, and unfortunately, you're getting people out there blowing this out of proportion. Okay, and I don't want to, you guys know I don't name other channels. I don't allow negative talk against other people. Especially other channels or what have you, because I just don't think it's constructive and they're not here to defend themselves. So, but with that being said, there are channels out there taking this and just completely blowing it up into something that it's not. This is a significant explosion. It's a full halo, okay? And this is what we look at for bigger CMEs. So this is off the back side. Like I said, I'm showing you guys this because eventually this is that same sunspot that blew that X-class flare over here. Okay, at least that's what I'm hearing. That's what all the stuff that I've seen, everybody's, I don't know, I haven't seen like a data report on it to see if that's exactly the same. Now, it's all the way on the back side of the sun, so we don't really have a very good view of any of it. So, yeah. So this thing it blew pretty big. Now, this thing will be coming back around, but we got other stuff before that. So I just want to point that out as we go get into this. I'm going to take you back here real quick. As you can see, guys, again, the flaring's not going to stop. This is just the first look at the sun here. You see these two bright areas right here? Those are sunspots, most likely. Now, they're not officially named because they're not facing Earth yet. So, as soon as they face Earth, they could immediately get the designation as a sunspot. But regardless, these are very active areas. Okay? I've seen them, erupting a little bit off the side here. So, as we're looking at this, and we're going to go over to ISWA, and I'll show you SDO over there here in just a minute. But here's Enlil model. This is NOAA's forecasting model. Now, remember, NASA has one like this too. They use the same data, just their models are set up to take certain things in consideration at higher levels than others. Thus, it gives you a little bit different of a forecast. They update this one. The good thing about this one is they update this thing constantly. It's really like watching your weather on the 8s on the Weather Channel. It really is. they can change this thing. It changes, hour to hour sometimes. So if you guys ever go over here and you're looking at this, obviously that's the sun and that's the earth, okay? Up here in these boxes, the top part of this is density and the bottom part is velocity. Now you can see there, it's 2 days historical, and they try to forecast 5 days out in advance. I think it's, forecasting that far out when we're talking about space weather, it's almost, I don't want to call it, I don't even know what to call it. I just don't hold a lot of stock in what they're saying when it's way out here, because almost every time it changes, just like your weather stuff, like I talk about on the Weather Channel, right? I mean, it's the same thing. So, same principle anyway. But they are talking about a higher density here, and we can run this. You can see the spirals, but I'm not gonna. It's nothing much is going on in that aspect. Now here's your aurora, and we had a little uptick in the aurora. These things, they're kind of dependent on the strength of the magnetic field, whatever direction the BZ is, and how these react, right? Now, remember, a solar wind gets further down into our atmosphere, and it comes in easier on the poles. They'll start reacting with like nitrogen instead of oxygen molecules. When you see the green ones, those are oxygen molecules that it's reacting with, okay? And it's really what you're seeing is the actual particle going back to its original stable state. That's what causes that color. Okay, it ain't when it gets hit. It's actually when it's going back to its original state. At least that's how I understand it. But once they start reacting, getting further down in our atmosphere where there's more nitrogen, they'll turn red. And they produce other colors too. And there's other reasons for that. But I just thought that was interesting. I've talked about that a little bit before. But notice, it's starting to slow up a little bit here on the end. So, it does kind of match here because we are coming down, but we are getting more X-rays. Now, X-rays aren't going to cause aurora. We got to think about that for a minute. Charged particles is what's going to do that. Hitting our, magnetic field and how it's interacting with our atmosphere and all that. Okay, so let's go back here to ISWA. Now, ISWA just isn't the magnetosphere model, okay? A lot of people, they show you the ISWA magnetosphere models. These here. Okay? But ISWA is actually the site, okay? And it's okay. I mean, it's just a general blanket term that most people use. I just want to clarify that because that's what it is. You're actually, when you say ISWA, you're talking about a website that has multiple different tools on it. Not just one magnetosphere tool or what have you. But this is what we got. We can look at SDO over here. We can look at all kinds of different things here. Okay? Different, from different satellites. It's just like it's a hub for all this space weather stuff. But anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go back to the solar tab and we're going to go here. Now, here's those sunspots again. So let me, and this is what's got me interested right now. I have not seen this happen like I'm seeing it right now. I'm not saying that it's never happened like it is right now. It's just I've not seen it do this before. Now, what I'm going to show you, it looks like the whole sun reacted at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that's actually what did happen, but what I can tell you is that there was some sort of, whether it was a backside eruption that caused the sun to react even over here, or what. But this 171 angstrom is going to show you what I'm talking about. You're going to see everything kind of move at the same time. So let me back it up. The first thing I want to show you is, where's that southern, there it is. Okay, let me zoom in here a little bit. Bring it over here. Here's that. Watch what happens down here in the south. Okay. We'll back it up till we get to where we need to be. So I'm going to go forward. Remember, it's going to come off down here. Okay. right there. See that? Now, that is a substantial eruption. Now, Lasco C2 and Soho and stuff isn't showing this yet. This has just happened a couple hours ago. Okay? So, and this is going directly, it looks like it's going directly south. So that would not be coming at us at all, whatsoever. Now, not to mention that it's behind the limb. It looks like it came off the back side. But it's going in a direction that's going, I'm just going to call it down right now from our perspective. Space directions get kind of funky when you start talking about it. It gets hard to explain to some people. They don't really understand it. So I'm going to use basic terms like that. But you can see how that's going on right there. Now, again, it's not going to... Yeah, I think it did, Rip. I think it did come off the backside. But what I want to show you guys here, I'm going to back this out because I noticed something interesting. And like I said, it looked like the whole sun reacted at pretty much the same time. And so if it did fire off the back, it definitely affected the front too because the atmosphere moves. So let me find my place here when that happens. Might take me a second here, guys. Sorry. I'll find it and I'll rock it back and forth for you. Because it only happens for, right there. Okay, so when this thing blows off down here, you can see all the way around the sun. Even right here, when we go look at the other angstroms, you're going to see the atmosphere here moving too. So watch what happens here. Now I'm going to go forward. Oh, need to go backwards. Sorry. You guys see that? You can see it moving here, all the way up through here on this side. Now, I guess that could have been a full halo shot off the back going that direction. But regardless, it made the atmosphere on the front of the sun, which does happen sometimes. It'll roll through there. It all moved. Okay, so let me back it up again. We'll take a look at it again. I mean, are you guys seeing that? I mean, I don't want to be out here just saying this and nobody else is seeing it. You see how it kind of gets dim and then lightens back up? So, I mean, that is definitely something that, in my opinion, whatever happened there, I'm not sure if we crossed over some sort of magnetic boundary and it hit the whole sun there, or if it's just something that erupted off the sun and the whole sun just kind of moved as far as the atmosphere. The energy moved across it. The sun didn't move. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the atmosphere reacted. So I hope you guys can see that because we don't see this very often at all. And I can see it happening with bigger eruptions. Because I've talked about getting an eruption, one direction, and almost every time you'll get a smaller eruption about 180 degrees the other way, and it's typically not as strong. So when we do get shots off the back, we still pay attention because sometimes we can take it'll fire off the other side too, just not as strong, usually. I just thought that was interesting. What do you guys think about that? I mean, is that something we should talk about, or I'm just losing my mind here? But yeah, so you can even see up here, and we'll look at it in different angstroms here in a second, but it does definitely move. Okay, something is moving there. And it all happened at the same time, which was, to me, is either from the eruption or it caused the eruption, whatever it was. And again, we got stuff that moves through our atmosphere, guys, or through our solar system all the time, okay? different types. Cosmic rays, we talk about that one a lot. There's a whole lot of other things too. But typically, you know, we don't see the sun do that a whole lot. I ain't saying we never see it, but we definitely don't see it very often. Now, we did see some flaring right here, and I'll show it to you. This sunspot is rotating off right now. In the next day or so, it will be off of the disk there, which is why I'm not really too concerned with it. But this one here is what's causing those flares I showed you over on Space Weather Prediction. So watch right here, you'll see it flare. This little pops, that's probably the biggest one right there. If we zoomed in, that's probably got a little itty bitty X pattern. What'd I do there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it's nothing too big or extravagant. It's just barely worth talking about because it's not. Only reason why I'm talking about it is because it's firing quite a bit there. You see it all? So we do that. Boom, boom, boom. So, you know, if that sunspot had developed a little bit earlier over here, we might be a little bit more concerning watching it. But this is getting ready to rotate off, so it's probably not going to do a whole lot for us. Remember, guys, we want some geomagnetic activity, okay? It helps keep our magnetic field strong. And so when we get really low, you know, cosmic rays start sneaking in. That's essentially, we can call that pretty much radiation. It's not exactly the same, but muons, when they get through, they do affect us that way. Now, this is the 304. You'll see kind of the same situation here. Now, I want to show you guys this too because there's a decent sized filament up here that is looks to either have lifted off or is starting to lift off. You see this dark shadow right here? Okay, so let me see how it's moving. And it does look like, you know, that thing reacted at the same time as those other things did. Okay, that blast from the south, this thing here, this sunspot down here, it flared. This filament started moving. So, you know, I have a hard time thinking it's not related, is what I'm trying to say. Again, is it a huge deal? Absolutely not. I mean, I'm not trying to say that at all. But, you know, it could point us to a more active time coming. And I think that that's what we're talking about here. Especially down here with these two. Okay, so we'll watch the eruption down here. You can see it really good. This makes me think that this was maybe a filament release down here on the bottom. Even though it's on the backside, we can't really see it. Nothing's really bright right there. So if we get to where this happens, there, okay? See this? Look at that. This shows it really well, okay? Let me pull this over. Now you're seeing that's plasma. Sometimes we'll see it. What we call it solar rain. It's charged particles, you know, plasma on a magnetic connection line, and it'll go right back down to the sun on that same line, unless it's been blown off at such a strength that it leaves the sun. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about these CMEs and filament releases. It's plasma getting blowed off the sun. See that? See how big that was? And because it's opening up here and here, that's telling me that, you know, either a filament snapped right there that we can't see because it's on the backside, or the sun just simply, it may have even flared. You just can't see it because it's on the backside there. If I do that, now again, we get that eruption. Now watch what happens here, and then it even blows out here big again too. See that? So you get the initial boom, okay? And then you get like a ball blowing off the sun there. See that? I mean, yeah. So we just gotta, take that all into consideration when we're taking a look at this stuff, right? So I hope you guys can understand that and see that. I'm not trying to get too. I'm trying to keep things more basic because I know I have a hard time, especially at the beginning, understanding this stuff myself, and I still make mistakes. Like SDO, I was corrected. I think Nibunuts corrected me in the comment section. I said SDO was the L1, the Lagrange point, and it's not. He put the correction in there. It was 36, I think it's 36,000 kilometers or something away. It's not sitting at L1. So I made a mistake there. I just wanted to point that out because I like to correct my mistakes there when I make those mistakes. But yeah, it definitely, this here was a big blow, man. Wham! There we got that. Boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, I just think that those are definitely something we have to pay attention to. Because eventually that stuff's not going to just happen on the backside, guys. It's going to be coming our way. And right now with our, in my opinion, and a lot of all the data is showing that our magnetic field's weakened. And I know that there's a lot out there that have a whole lot of different theories and stuff about what's happening and all that. And I'm not even going to address any of that. That's not why I'm here. But the data and stuff that I've seen, it shows that our magnetic field is weakening. So it's not going to take as much of a blast from whatever to really hit us and give us a good rock. You know what I mean? But anyway, this here is that Halo CME from yesterday. Or back on the 13th. I showed it to you guys yesterday. And then we kind of jumped forward a little bit there. And you can see another eruption here on the 13th. That's that other bigger eruption I showed you guys. Actually, I don't know if I did show it to you. Hold on a minute here. I forgot to run this back again. Check this out. Let me run this. Let me update this and I'll show it to you. I'll do this one too. That's the only bad thing about doing this over here on ISWA. You can only go back 300 frames. So if I do it over on the SDO site, you can set it for 3 days. You can watch a movie that's 3 days long. But this will update fast enough for us. But I do think we're going to have to pay attention to these sunspots down here, guys. And look up here. I mean, this area is active too. So we are definitely coming into a more active time period. Now remember, this is way before even any of that eruption happened. See, there was another little one there, looks to be. Okay, so let me show you this one. Let me zoom in. Okay, it's going to happen up here. Okay, so let me run it forward. Hey, Chris, what's up? Come on, there it went. See it? So, that one happened. See what I mean about the sun firing on all sides? I mean, because it is. There's no doubt about it. It just simply is. How far down was that one? Okay. So we'll look at it here on the 171 angstrom up here. We'll take a look at it there. See that? That's a pretty big lift off there, guys. Boom. Look at that. Correct. And I noticed this one here seems to be moving really fast. Now, I don't know the speed. I know we can go look at the speed. I just haven't went over and looked at it at all. To be honest with you, I really don't even know what parameters to go look at to get the speed of that. But that does look to be moving pretty quick. We're not talking but a very few amount of minutes there for it to move that far. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. So So if I back that up, we move it like that again, you know, it really started with that. I mean, that's a significant plasma release going off on out into space, guys. Now, again, I don't think any of this stuff is coming at us. Now, I can't say 100%. We might take a glancing blow or something, but from the other stuff that I've looked at, I don't see that stuff is coming at us. I would not think that it is. Just from the, you know, because it is behind the limb of the sun. It's going up and to the left. So I don't think that there's any way possible that thing's even roughly coming at us. So I did look on the CME tracker, the NASA model, and I didn't see anything. So it's updated, I think, for that one, and it's not. It really didn't even seem to be all that strong. But who knows, right? I mean, we can't really get the exact strength on the ones that fire off the side and the backside like we can out here in the front, because we don't have, it doesn't hit the detectors. We don't get the good data collection like we do when stuff happens out here in the front. So yeah, let's where am I at here? Space weather. Okay, earthquakes, guys. Well, actually, that just happened. It's a 5.5 over in Japan. Doesn't look like it's probably in the water. Yep. It's offshore. Okay. It doesn't look like any kind of tsunami things are going on here, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. That does look like to be the biggest one of the day, though, so far. That just happened. That was the latest earthquake update there. Let's see here. It's about 2 hours ago, I think. Is that about right? Because this is Eastern time. And because I got this set up for Eastern time, where I'm at Eastern time. So you can set it to UTC and all that, but what kind of question you got? Thanks, Wolfie, for putting that out. Sorry. What's your question, Keith? See if I can't go back and catch it. Wages, how long does it take the sun to make one full rotation? You know what? That's a good question, but I do want to tell you this, okay? I think that's probably a little bit more of it's kind of a more difficult thing to talk about, because it's not like the Earth. The Earth's a rock, right? I mean, we know this, and we have a core and all that kind of stuff. But the sun. Let me go over here to this, and we'll take a look at it here in a minute. Let's see here. Let's see here, guys. Let's go here. The sun rotates faster at the equator than it does on its poles. Hey guys, in there in the chat, guys, it's okay for people to have a different opinion as long as they're not attacking somebody personally. Like, it's okay to talk about a subject, this or that. Just kind of keep that in mind. You know, I got a few simple chat rules, guys. You can't attack anybody else in the chat. As far as a personal thing, you can talk about whatever subject you're talking about, as long as it's being respectful. And keep the conversation, especially if it's getting a little heated, keep it to the subject, not to that person. Okay? That's what I'm saying. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. If we're gonna, have issues over there in the chat. I mean, I trust my mods and stuff. I just want to put that out there. That way everybody understands it. Yeah, Menacing, you guys talking about that Tomsk radar, not radar, but Schumann reading, or Schumann site. yeah, I mean, the local stuff can affect those guys. It just does. So, and we, without going and looking at their local weather and stuff, sometimes they can even have snow and stuff on their sensors that can really jack with it. So it's hard to say that everything is a global thing. All right. But just saying. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, answering Keith's question. You got the sun rotates faster in the middle than it does on the poles. Okay? Now, when we have, this goes to the sun cycle itself, Keith, if you're still listening to me, man. You got, when the sun cycle is essentially the magnetic poles of the sun flipping. Okay, so when they flip, they basically reset. Okay, it becomes like a bar magnet, a positive and a negative. So when it flips, it goes negative to positive, right? Well, because the equator is actually moving faster than the poles, it will pull those magnetic lines horizontal. So early on in the sun cycle, the magnetic lines are vertical. So as they get pulled sideways, and we start getting kinks in those magnetic lines, that's a sunspot. Now, it's a real basic, I mean, there's so many other things that influence all that, but that's a very basic explanation of what a sunspot is and how it gets there. Okay? That's why we see the sunspots as the sun cycle progresses. They will migrate towards the equator, because there's more and more magnetic lines getting pulled towards the equator horizontally. So that's why we see that happen. And it's a very easy thing to see if you go look at the graphs and stuff. So, yeah. So if those are getting pulled that way and, up and down and all around, that's just what it is, right? So I really don't know if there's actually, I'm sure that there is. I'll have to go look that up, Keith. I really don't know that, man. That's a good question. I'll look it up and we'll talk about that next time on my next stream. So, but yeah. So that's really all I got for you guys. I don't have a whole lot of other, things to really be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about some other subjects. Obviously, the big subject right now, everybody's talking about moon wobble and earth wobble and all the above, right? And what does it mean and what does all that stuff have to do with anything and all those things. I called in, Marv had me on a show last night. I hope you guys go over and check him out. Please, guys, please go check Marv out. I know I'm a lot smaller than him and all that, but I can't forget to try to promote his channel too, because he's doing work just like we all are, right? He helped me along. I got a lot of Fugel fam here, and that's just, so go check out Marfugel, Adam and Dex over there. So please go over there if you haven't been there, and at least check them out. So we can kind of reciprocate the favor and stuff. And yeah, Wolfie, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna work your I'm gonna work your audio you sent to me, man. I'm gonna work it into my new little short intro, and we're gonna switch it up and stuff. So, yeah. What about that, Menacing? What you got there? Am I missing something? Yeah, I don't want to break my own rules, Menacing. I just, yeah, we'll leave that at that. Yeah, sorry. You can email me and I'll talk to you about it. Yeah, back in the past, I was called a bunch of names and stuff, and that a lot of it came from there. And like I said, guys, even when somebody's mean and crappy to me or whatever, it doesn't mean I unsubscribe from them. I will, I still go look because I still think that there's truth to see. And whether people think I'm I'm stupid or an idiot or any of that kind of stuff, that's okay. I'm okay with that, guys. I'm doing the best I can. I do make mistakes, and I do try. And I try to let everybody here have a voice, and that's why, you're going to see a lot of stuff come through my chat that a lot of people would just completely blow off of their chat. And I think it's wrong. I don't, especially those of us that live here in the States, we got quote unquote free speech, right? I mean, I'm not going to take that away from somebody as long as they can have whatever ideas and beliefs that they want. I don't have to agree, but I can respectfully disagree with people and have a conversation as an adult. I don't have to go out and attack somebody personally and call them names. I don't need to do that. And you know why I don't do that? People defend, they say they're defending themselves and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. If it's the truth, you don't have to defend the truth. It'll defend itself. Might not happen right then and there, but eventually, if it's the truth, it will win. And I don't think people on a mass level get that. And I think that if they would, man, it would be so much better. Don't get me wrong. When somebody attacks me, it bothers me. Like I said, guys, I'm a sensitive person. I leave my feelings on my sleeve, but I also know in the back of my head that the truth doesn't need defended because it most certainly will defend itself when it's time. It doesn't need me to do that for it. That's why I show you guys observations and this and that. When I make a mistake, I try to come out and correct it and all those things. And and it's not just one direction here or there. It's all over the internet, guys. We know this. And, I just don't feel the need that I have to defend the truth. I don't need to. It will take care of itself. And that's just and that's why I'm able to let all those things in the chat just fly right by, as long as they're not attacking people personally. So I really hope people get that. I don't want to take somebody's voice. If they got an idea, matter of fact, my second channel, guys, I'm trying to get up and running, is, it's going to be about opposing views and getting in there to have a respectful conversation. And maybe sometimes it might get a little rowdy, but that's okay. As long as at the end of the day, it can be, not disgusting, is what I'm trying to say. And then we can see both sides. Both sides of it. That's really what I want. If everybody could see both sides at once, then there's no questioning. Everybody's not running off to their channels making videos here, making videos there. Get them in the same room without a script, okay? That's what most people do on the internet. They do. They'll write a script out, and that's okay. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, you get somebody without a script and you start asking them questions, it's a lot harder for them to skirt the truth. And you'll see that. You'll be able to see that in their body language, the way that they talk, all of that. And so you'll know if somebody's being disingenuous, if somebody's being intellectually dishonest. What does that mean? Well, that means you choose to not, basically you're lying about something that you're trying to say. It's a nice way of calling somebody a liar, I guess. Or you just refuse to see what's actually there. And, and I've said this before. I haven't talked about it in a long time. But, man, we just got to get to a place where we're able to have conversation. And I see it all over. People run to their channels, attacking each other. Eventually, you know what happens, guys? Something else I've noticed. I wonder if you guys have noticed the same thing. That, we used to go to some of these channels because of the information they were giving us. But then they start fighting with other people. And then I found myself going back to some of those channels just to see the outcome of the fight. I didn't realize I was doing it. And it just dawned on me one day, why am I watching this? They're not even talking about anything but each other. So I quit. At that point, I just stopped doing it. I don't want to be part of any of that because it's not positive movement in any way, shape, or form. You know, it just never gets anywhere. And again, like I said, this is my live stream, guys, and that's why I said I want to connect with you guys, and I might get off on rants like this from time to time. I don't mean for them to go on and on and on, but, you know, I just think that sometimes I get in a rut myself, and sometimes I have to talk myself out, just like I'm doing right now. And, yeah, Keith Drama does suck, which is why I want to give it a place to live, which would be my second channel. You know, it's drama in the sense that you have opposing views, right? Or just somebody's view that isn't mainstream, or somebody's view that isn't so popular, but yet they have something they want to get out. I would let somebody come on that channel and give their viewpoint, and then if somebody's seen that show later on and wanted to have the other side of it, I would bring them both back. That's exactly what I would do. And then they can have a discussion in front of us and let us see exactly what's actually happening. So, you know, and that's just what we do. I just want to, you know, that's really what I want. I'm not going to have to defend the truth because it's going to do it itself. And if people want to have opposite views, that's great because that pushes us forward. None of us get better. The second you become a narcissist, or the second you think you know everything about something, guess what? You stop learning right then and there. And most people that are like that, what are they doing? They're asking you to have an open mind, but in the next second, they're telling you don't listen to nobody else but them. I don't get that. I don't understand that way of thinking. At all. You know, tell somebody to have an open mind until they hear what you have to say, and then you want them to close it? No way, man. No way. That ain't how it works. Sorry. You know, again, guys, I hate confrontation. I hate arguing with people. And I think that, you know, going back and just doing videos against each other, this, that, and the third, and like I said, I'm not pointing out anybody because it happens all over the place. I mean, all over. I think we all know this. It ain't just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. It's all over the place. Some channels are there just because of that. So yeah, I just don't get it, you know? But yeah, that's just how it is, guys. So anyway, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and end it there, guys. And, yeah. So if I'll give you guys an update probably in the morning, just about conditions and stuff. And again, I'll probably try to do these live streams once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. So, oh, cool, Sharon. Thanks. Yeah, you're right, Menacing. 100%. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and cut it here, guys. So, Yahusha saves. Be safe. You can drink this Kool-Aid.